Well, everybody, I'm back again doing some more Snoopy's Time Tale. It is I, Hellgear. Welcome back. So, here's the thing death sucks. Like, the whole process with Mother Hell's passing has been so damn draining and time consuming. I didn't even get to do as much as this as I wanted to. I even had to move the event over here and all the stuff over here out of the way instead of where I wanted it to be. Nevertheless, I hope you guys have had fun with this event. I have to get Chellies and Trumpies. All right. Oh, I got the drum. The timpani drum. Yeah, I gotta make one of those. Okay. Jelly timpani. And a brick. There we go. So apparently, there's some rather interesting interactions when it comes to the characters in this event. And I'm going to be real with you. From what I've seen, Charlie Brown gets a little bit more recognition in this. But the wildest part is that Lucy is finally starting to work Schroeder her way. And this has been one of the ongoing Love Joneses throughout the entire Snoopy series. And I found out something rather interesting when it comes to our game and this wonderful event here. I'll tell you about that a little bit later. Sip my water here. I guess what I want to say is that in light of all the bad things that are going on in my life right now, I wanted to play this event for you guys as a way to occupy my mind from stressing out too damn much. It's bad enough that with everything that's going on, I haven't been sleeping well. You know, I just haven't. And being up until 5 in the morning because sleep doesn't come to you is not healthy. You know, and I was talking with Father Hill about this. It's like, son, you got to take care of yourself. You know, with him being back in the hospital, it's just, my brother and I agree. We don't need this shit. Like, right when things are starting to go a little bit better for us, get a little break from mom passing away. Mother Hill died, right? Father Hill goes back into the hospital. And it's like, come the hell on. You know, my cousins, when they ask about their uncle so much, right? And they're like, what is God doing? Like, I'm beginning to question God on this one. I'm like, no, don't do that. You know, the whole thing about God gives us as much as we can bear. You know, and I had to tell my cousins, this isn't about God. This isn't about God doing the family bad. All right. And I never thought that way. And then I called my other cousin and I asked him, as I'm filling him in about this, I was like, why does the devil hate me? What did I do to make the devil hate me this bad? Because that's what it is. This is just the devil hating me this bad. You know, before this happened, my dad spent 11 days in the hospital. He gets out on Cinco de Mayo. And the very next day, after Cinco de Mayo, Father Hell is fresh one day out of the hospital. Mother Hell passes away. The Tuesday before Mother's Day, mind you. And this, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, having your mom die before Mother's Day, like the week before Mother's Day, is terrible. You know, it is so bad because it's the first Mother's Day without my mother. And the fact that she didn't live long enough to get one last Mother's Day, in a way that hurts. But my mom fought to the very end. You know, the mind was willing, but unfortunately, the body just was not. And when organs start shutting down in the body, it's pretty much a done deal. Like renal failure, you know, kidney failure, people can live without kidneys. But when like other vital organs that are not the heart start shutting down, it's a problem. And then when organs stop working altogether, that's pretty much it. You know, Father Hell thanked all the doctors for everything that they did. I should collect the rent. I already did the universal sweeper. You can only do that once a day. Build some more of these. But it's like, wow. I had to tell my cousins, no, this is not God doing this. This you don't question God on this. You know, if anything, this is the devil. And the devil always comes for you when you do something good that he needs to bring on your attention. It's like the moment you start doing really good, the devil comes for you. It's like a thief trying to rob a house. Thieves don't rob empty houses. There has to be something valuable in you for why the devil will torment with you so much. And the saddest thing is somebody else out here in YouTube land recently had like a death in the family and they posted it in one of their posts and I was like, I understand, I share your pain, man. I just lost my mama. And you know, stuff like that is just the wildest. You know, I've been going through the parents doing the hospital Jones since February 20th of 2025. All right. February 20th. So the doctors in the ICU know my face well. the doctors in the towers after you leave the ICU, but you get your room. They know me well. The security guards at the check-in station, they know my face. Some of them even ask how I'm doing, which is great. And I'm going to be real with you guys. I am not okay. I am not okay. But with everything that's been going on, I haven't really had time to cry. I really haven't. And my nephew, he looks at me and is like, how are you not in tears over this? How is this not tearing you up? And I told him, it is tearing me up. This is tearing me up. I still don't have all the pieces for Peppermint Patty's outfit. That's why she's not over there in the music concerto with everybody else. Man, let's get a card count on her. 8 out of 10. Okay, she almost there. And it's like, wow. I saw an Instagram reel, right? Or what is it? Instagram or Facebook? They have the reels, right? And it was this Dragon Ball themed one, right? And the part that got me, the part that just it sinks in, and it's like, why are you mad about what's going on? You asked for this, right? You asked for strength. Well, one of the one of the things about strength is you're tested by having to make difficult decisions. You want peace of mind? Okay, sure. Well, in order for peace of mind, we have to put you through hell, through troubled waters. And this is the weirdest thing about faith, right? And somebody had the high hanging nutsack to ask this. It's like, if you ask God for faith, or not asking for faith, you ask Him as a sign of faith for peace. Why is it that when you ask Him for peace, He brings trouble your way? That's the opposite of peace. If He brings problems to the peaceful people. And of course, we got these old church biddies shaking their head. They're like, "I'm gonna pray for you. You need Jesus to talk to you." Uh, and the thing is, you have to go through problems because you need to be able to deal with problems in order to get real peace. And death is one of the wildest processes. You know, the people who survive you, and I just want everybody to know this. And when I say everybody, I'm specifically talking to my 30-year-old audience here. Like, most of my teenage audiences, they don't have to worry about shit like this, hopefully. This is for the 30-year-olds in my viewing audience. And there are many of you in your 30s who watch my content. This one's going to you. Okay? When a family member dies, it's like what Imhotep said at the end of the first mummy. And it's translated from ancient Egyptian to English, where it's death is only the beginning, right? Sip my water really quick. Death is a painstaking process to the people who survive you, the ones that you leave behind from dying, like your kids, your grandkids, your beneficiaries, right? When you're dead, you don't really care. All you care about is if your loved ones who have to keep living without you in the rest of their lives put you to rest, you know? And the process of getting your dead into the ground is so fucking painstaking. And I mean that. And it's like you have to make all kinds of calls. You have to do all the arrangements. And most importantly, death is expensive. Like, death is expensive, expensive. And this is coming from a guy who went to college, okay? College expenses, those are the roughest expenses I ever thought in my adult life that I would ever have to endure. But death expenses, death expenses, while they aren't as high as college expenses, my goodness, I would rather take the college issues than the death ones, because this death stuff is just too damn energy sapping. Like, not only do you have to pay for the service for your dead, but you also have to pay for putting your dead to rest. You know, you have to pay for the service for the dead. You have to pay for the casket. You have to pay for the flower arrangement. You have to pay for, like, the obituary, getting the death certificate, flowers you want to put on the casket. You want to have to decide if you're going to have an open casket service or a closed casket service. You want to have to pay. You have to decide whether to get your dead embalmed. Boom. And this is some of the priciest shit. And what makes it worse is you also have to pay for, and this is another one, right? You also have to pay for the putting at rest part. Now, let's say you want to bury your dad, right? Like mother and father hell, they have their specific wishes. You know, they want to be put in the ground. It is that simple. You know, in their old ages. Thank you, Heather, for your rent. All right, I'm going to collect rent. Thank you, Fifi, for your rent. I know you're busy getting me a dog tag, but thank you for your rent anyway. Right? You have to pay not only the funeral home for whether or not you want to do the casket or if you want to do the cremation. And if you do the cremation, they say it's cheaper because you got to pay for the urn, you got to pay for how you want the ashes dealt with and all that other mess. Right? But when you're burying somebody into the ground, you not only have to pay for the service, you have to make sure that you pay for the transport of said dead body to the cemetery or the memorial lawn or wherever. I'm just so glad that I have cousins on both my mom's and my dad's side of the family who have had to deal with this shit. Like I talked about in the community posts, the death of my nephew. That was on my dad's side. Like one of my cousins' kids. You know, and the thing about putting Mother Hell in the cemetery was that's some of the priciest mess. And I mean this too, right? And here's the thing. Like one of my other cousins, my cousin Dank. I'm not using his real name. I'm just walking with him, right? His mom, my aunt, she died at 50 something, I believe. She was one of Mother Hell's younger sisters, right? The wildest thing is, Mother Hell had a wish that said, when she dies, bury me by my sister. Thanks, Mom. And I managed to get that because Thanks, Mom is over there by grandmother, Mother Hell's mama. And here's the thing, we talked with the funeral over there because we already have loved ones. We get a discount, and the discount is still, even with the discount, it's going to cost 5 racks just to get mom in the ground. Like, just to dig the hole and on the date, put her in the ground. And here's the thing about that, cemetery wants to be paid up front, right? They want to be paid up front. Funeral home services, they bill me for the invoice. And my brother and I are explaining, look, we need the death certificate before we can start paying you guys. And they were just like, man, taking for damn ever. And it's the hospital that was doing this first, like 2 weeks after mom passed away. And you guys still haven't transferred the death certificate to the funeral home so we can get copies of this. The delay set everything back. And it's like, are you serious? Well, and you made this perfectly, my Major Blood 12 made this perfectly clear. Look, we can't do anything until we get the death certificate, including get y'all paid. And it's like you want to delay the process, and you may be delaying the process on purpose, how I'm feeling about this, but you must not want to get paid right out the gate. You know, death is expensive. Places want money up front. And when you look at funeral packages, these are thousands of dollars. Okay, thousands of dollars. And yes, Mother Hell had her life insurance policy. But this process it's just been so painstaking for me and Major Blood 12. It has. It's been so exhausting. Like, for Friday, look like yesterday, Friday, because I'm current. It's currently the 24th of May in the early mornings, like 1:30 in the morning at the time right now. Matter of fact, I need to go check on something. I'll be right back. All right, so that figure this out, right? Like, let's be honest, folks. How many people can say that they have $10,000? This is just a rough estimate. This isn't how much it actually costs. But think about this. If the funeral service costs $8,000, and then you have to pay bond discount another $5,000. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying this is how much it costs for us, but think about this. How many of you can honestly say that you have like $13,000 ready in case of an unexpected out of the blue death in the family? Like, think about that. I want you to think about that. You know, this is some of the wildest mess ever. And when I take my dad to the office to go pay for his life insurance, the agent is looking at me and it's like, you can lock in your own life insurance policy for $10 a month. And I'm like, I'm not even old enough for to even think about getting a life insurance policy. You know, I'm not. I'm really not. Again, I'm talking to my 30-year-old target audience here. Like, you're 30 years old. The last thing you're thinking about is getting a life insurance policy for yourself. Some people in their 30-year olds have just started having kids, right? And it's like, you're being asked if you want to start your life insurance policy. Can you imagine that? You're 32 years old. You just lost one of your parents, right? And you're going to the insurance company and they come to you asking, well, we can lock in a fixed rate for your own life insurance policy. When you're 30 something, you don't think about a life insurance policy. If anything, you're thinking about how much you're going to pay for medical costs. Right? You're thinking about medical costs. You're not thinking about life insurance policy at 30. You know, most people don't think about life insurance until they're middle aged. I'm not even middle aged yet. Like, really? Let me go get some more planks. This is some of the wildest mess ever. And as I look at this, right, like figuratively look at this, all I can think about, Shermy giving up them cameras, man. And it's like, wow. Major Blood 12 and I are going through all this with Mother Hell. And all we can think about is, we got to do this shit twice. We're going to have to do this again with Father Hell. And me, I'm like, I refuse to have all these issues and problems when it comes time for me to eventually bury Father Hell. Like, the day you bury your parents, even if you don't have the best rapport with your folks, the day you bury your parents, each parent, those are going to be the hardest days of your life. Like, burying family is going to be the hardest day of your life. It will always be the hardest day of your life. You know, though those will always be difficult days. You will not be able to tell me otherwise that burying your family members is an easy thing. You know, you're not going to be able to tell me that. People do not like having to bury their dead. If anybody tells you they like burying their dead, they are lying like a mother. That stuff is not a happy process. It is time consuming, it is energy sapping. You have to make all kinds of calls to get prepared to do this, that. You got to make sure that they don't have any bills. Like, if your parents die and they have bills, you have to end up paying for that. You know, you have to pay for that. And it's like I have the talk with Father Hell. I was like, look, I need you to have all of your things up to date so that when it's your turn for me to put you in the ground out there next to Grandma Hell like you want, that I don't have to go through all of this madness because I'm not having this shit. I am really not having it. I want to be able to, when it comes time for me to put you in the ground, have that as the smoothest process as possible. And I mean the smoothest process as possible. Get you to get you get you into the hospital thing so that the coroner can do their report on you, figure out the cause of death, write up the death certificate. Because there's paperwork. You know, Mother Hell died in the hospital. There's paperwork that you have to fill out when someone dies. Right? Fifi's done with her job. Thank you, Fifi. This is a painstaking ass process. There's so much paperwork and so many calls you have to make, not just with like dealing with their bills, which you want to make sure to pay all their bills, but you have to call family members and let them know that they died, and you have to let everybody know about how you're going to do the funeral and get it and set it up so that people know what day it's happening. Truffles is done too. That way they can take off work. Yeah, it's the hottest mess. It really is. And I don't wish this on anybody. I really don't. But no, guys, I'm not okay. I'm not going to be okay for a while. That's why I asked for you guys to pray for me and my family. I specifically asked for that. And most importantly, I just ask, just watch my content. You know, with everything going on, I'm probably not going to be able to post a lot of content like I normally would. But I am going to post some things so as not to be stuck, like trying to worry about everything. And when I go through this backlog to get the stuff that I've already recorded for the whole I'm going to make things better for you part, I'll post that as well. But pray for us. Pray for me and my family, you guys. And please watch the content. I'll be making sure that in the description below is a link to all the playlists on the channel. So please check out the content. That way I'll know that you guys are still there to support me as I go through this rough patch right now.